Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome. I'm Mayor Jason Gadd. Welcome to the Hopkins State of the City, and we're excited to be able to share a lot of information with you, hopefully in a way that you'll be able to take it home and use it and remember it by. We try to create those great memories here in Hopkins. Before we begin, I do like to welcome a few special guests that are with us tonight. Starting with our state representative, Cheryl Joachim. Our Hennepin County Commissioner, Jan Callison. Our Met Council representative, Molly Cummings. We also have Three Rivers Park Commissioner, Dan Freeman. And our school board member, Steve Adams. And of course, I guess I will also introduce this last special guest. He is the mayor of our neighboring city from Minnetonka, Brad Wiersman. We love Minnetonka, Brad. So once again, thank you for coming tonight. I'm sure if there are others that have snuck in during the Taste of Hopkins that I didn't recognize, we thank you again for coming tonight. And I also want to thank the sponsors of tonight, and that's been Twin West Chamber, as well as Hopkins Business and Civic Association, bringing this all together tonight. And of course, to kick this off tonight with the Taste of Hopkins and thanking the food vendors we had out there to really get a taste of Hopkins, 23 vendors tonight. With my special thanks going out to the individual coordinating all of the Taste of Hopkins, and that's Nora Davis. So she does this every year, so thank you, Nora. And at this time, I'd like to welcome for some welcoming comments from the Twin West Board, Greg Palmer.
Good evening. I'm Greg Palmer with Citizens Independent Bank of St. Louis Park, and we're a proud member of the business community here in Hopkins as well. But tonight my role is as the past chair of the Twin West Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. Twin West is excited to be here tonight and to help host the Hopkins State of the City event. Annually, Twin West co-hosts about 8 of these events, State of the Cities in various communities in the West Metro, and without question, the Hopkins event is the most fun and the most creative event every year and the funnest to be at. So thank you to City Manager Mike Morrison and Mayor Jason Gadd, the entire Hopkins City Council, for the invitation to join you tonight and be a part of this great event. As well, as Jason said, thanks to all the restaurants who participated tonight in the Taste of Hopkins, and I'll echo Jason's thanks to Nora Davis, who coordinated this event for the 12th consecutive year. So thank you, Nora. Twin West is a regional chamber of commerce serving 700 members in 10 West Metro communities. We're West Metro, but over 35% of our members are actually outside of that footprint. So throughout the Twin Cities, Minneapolis and St. Paul, you'll find members of Twin West. Ask you to remember a couple of important things about Twin West. If you remember nothing else, Twin West was a strong and early advocate for Southwest Light Rail. And when I say early, I mean early. Twin West is Twin Cities' leader in talent and workforce development programming. Not a lot of chambers are jumping on board with that. Twin West is. We believe it's important, delivering a future workforce to the businesses today. Twin West is very proud of that. Through our foundation, Twin West has awarded over $2 million of scholarships since 1985. So it's incredible work that Twin West and the business community is doing to deliver scholarships not only to high school students, but to adult learners who are looking at re-engaging with technical and vocational opportunities at learning institutions throughout the Twin Cities. And finally, Twin Cities is the voice of business in the West Metro. We're very proud of that. So again, we're really excited, Twin West is, to be here tonight and proud of the work we do in Hopkins together with the City of Hopkins and the Hopkins Business and Civic Association to both support and promote business. It's important to us. To learn more about the great things going on at Twin West, please go to twinwest.com to look at an upcoming calendar events and to learn more about the great programming that we're doing. So thank you.
Thank you, Greg. And I told him I'd make up some stories about him, but I'll hold back on that until after the party. So next we get to hear from our local Hopkins Business and Civic Association, and we're excited to have them a part of this organization as well. So Amy Saldana.
We are so delighted to be here as HBCA members as part of this event. The Hopkins Business and Civic Association is comprised of approximately 170 business and civic leaders around Hopkins. Our mission is threefold. We work to support the business community, to promote partnerships among the business and civic leaders, and I think most importantly, to partner in strategic and meaningful ways with the city. And so we thank them, of course, for their support. But there's one more perk to being an HBCA member, and this is why it's great to be. As HBCA members, we are oftentimes among the first business owners and civic leaders to meet new businesses that come to Hopkins. And here's why that's great. The conversation is always the same. You meet the new business owner and they invariably will tell you the same two things. They will say, unbelievable, we're trying to open our doors here in Hopkins. People are knocking on the door, neighbors, everybody's interested in what we're doing. They want to know when we're opening. They seem so excited. And then they always say the same second thing. Then we had a meeting with the city to talk about signs and kind of what we needed to do to get our space ready. And the city seemed so helpful and open and welcoming and excited that we were here. And then invariably the conversation always goes to a pivotal point, which is this question. They lean in and they say, is that for real? Like, are people really like that here? Or is that some sort of like roadshow that you do for new businesses? And that is singularly the most just completely entertaining part of the conversation, because that's when I get to say, not only is it real, authentic energy, it doesn't end. That's part of being a business owner and a civic leader here in Hopkins, because here in Hopkins, we are in it together. We are in community with each other. And that energy and excitement that you will see as a new business owner doesn't end. It doesn't mean we agree on everything. I mean, does anybody live in a family where they agree on everything? I mean, I can't find one, right? It doesn't mean that we agree. It means that we understand that we are part of something larger here, a community that people have fought hard for, advocated for. We are here to protect, promote, and advance. We have something very special here. I was really excited to see the theme tonight because Fred Rogers, as a toy store owner, Fred Rogers is a personal hero of mine. But there's a quote that I have on the wall at Kitty Wampus in our back office area that I look to often. And it's something that to me typifies who I want to be as a business owner and business leader. And I think it typifies who we are here in Hopkins. And it says this: mutual caring relationships require kindness and patience, tolerance, optimism, joy in the other's achievements, confidence in oneself, and the ability to give without undue thought of gain. That is us. That is who we are. It's not easy. If it were easy to have a city like Hopkins, everyone would be doing it, right? And look around you. Nobody else can get exactly what we have here. We have a lot to protect, certainly a lot to celebrate. It's really easy to get worked up. We can turn on the news and within 5 minutes find a variety of people yelling at each other, right? Here in Hopkins, we aspire to something greater than that, and we can do it because we all are invested in our community. So, City of Hopkins, we have a lot to celebrate tonight. We are thrilled to be with you here and can't wait for the next part. Thanks so much, Jason. Absolutely.
Thank you, Amy. And now, for the best part, I get to say, enjoy the show.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor?
Well, welcome, neighbors, to the 2020 State of the City. I'm extremely glad you're here tonight. Please keep an eye out for the doorbell, because we're going to expect a special guest any minute now. I was honored when the Assistant City Manager, Ari Lenz, asked me to play the part of Mr. Rogers. I was a little disappointed, though, when I found out it wasn't this Mr. Rogers. See, Green Bay is my team, and I thought we would be playing some sports stuff, but once I found out it was Fred Rogers, I said, I can accept that. But I did write an email to the Green Bay Packers organization and told them about our State of the City. And I said it would be nice if Aaron Rodgers would send us a video. And they replied back and said, Mr. Morrison, congratulations on your 2020 State of the City. However, our quarterback's going to be preparing for this week's Super Bowl. Well, I guess they lost last week, and they're not in the Super Bowl, so welcome to the Hopkins Center for the Arts. We appreciate you being here tonight, and we appreciate you being a wonderful part of our neighborhood. I just want to spend a minute or two on this facility that we have here. This facility was built in 1997, so it's 23 years old. And this past year, a couple years ago, Creative Art Minnesota did a study of the 15 art centers throughout the state of Minnesota that are not part of the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. And this center was #1 as far as economic vitality for the community, that they estimated that it brings in about $7 million a year to the community. And yeah, you can go ahead and applause. We average about 255,000 audience members every year for either a concert or stages or the gallery. And I was looking up more statistics on this art center tonight, and every year there's 123,000 students that are impacted that either come and watch a show or are part of the show. And we should be proud of that we're impacting 123,000 students. Now, the one thing I can't believe is that 2019 is over, and depending upon your perspective, we are entering a new decade. And we are going to give you out this annual report. You'll see it up there, and it's going to talk about some of the things that we accomplished in the new decade. And it's just an annual report, so when you leave tonight, we'll have staff handing out that annual report for you. Anyway, I'm hoping the doorbell rings pretty soon, because that's in the script. Well, there's the doorbell. Who could that be? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's Christy Halverson, City Council member. Christy, I was just showing our friends the 2019 annual report and remarking on the fact that it's a new decade. Would you like to look back and reminisce with me?
I would love to, Mike.
Well, wonderful. Well, let's take a stroll around Hopkins and see some of the changes we made over the last 10 years, starting with the artery, which was plans to connect Main Street to downtown Hopkins. Southwest Light Rail Station on Excelsior Boulevard was realized in 2017.
The artery now serves as a gateway to downtown Hopkins and features a popular cycle track to safely connect the Lake Minnetonka Regional Trail with the Cedar Lake Regional Trail. Gathering spaces, public art, and unique touches add to the vibe of this multimodal corridor.
And Christy, hasn't the artery won a few awards?
Well, it has, Mike.
Well, that's great.
In 2019, the Minnesota chapter of the American Planning Association recognized the significant partnership that made the artery possible by awarding the project with the Partnerships in Planning Award. Project partners include the Metropolitan Council, Hennepin County, Three Rivers Park District, Hopkins Historical Society, and the Hopkins Center for the Arts staff, along with many city staff and elected officials. The artery was also named one of the three great streets in America by the National American Planning Association as a part of their 2019 Great Places in America program.
Christy, that's great that this artery is receiving so much national recognition. Not only that, you rifled off several other organizations that we collaborate with, which we try to do every year through collaboration with either the county or one of our favorite suburbs, Minnetonka. Actually, St. Louis Park staff is here too, so I don't want to miss out on them. They're actually here spying on us. So their staff came because their mayor said, see what's going on in Hopkins. Should we head west a couple of blocks to City Hall? In 2019, the city completed a $4.8 million renovation of City Hall.
That's right. You really are up on what happens in town, aren't you?
Well, I kind of have to be.
The project included renovations to the lobby, council chambers, conference rooms, and staff areas, the replacement of windows and the roof, the addition of a small vestibule and landscaping.
The renovations will allow the city to efficiently utilize the space to serve the residents of Hopkins, along with numerous other benefits such as energy efficiency and improved security.
It does look a lot nicer.
That is true.
The new City Hall truly is spectacular, especially the council chambers. We encourage anyone to stop by for a city council meeting. They're on the first and third Tuesdays of the month.
Speaking of spectacular spaces, let's stop by the pavilion. In 2018, the city renovated the Hopkins Pavilion. The project included a new arena floor, hockey boards, new and expanded locker rooms, a new warming house to replace an existing 50-year-old Central Park warming house, a remodeled lobby area, and a new concession area.
That's a lot.
It sure is.
That was a mouthful, Mike. Thanks to both the Hopkins Youth Hockey Association and the Hopkins School District for making this project possible. It's collaborations like this that make Hopkins a truly great place to live.
You know, Christy, our parks are another reason why our city is so great. Hey, it looks like, is that Councilmember Brian Hunke taking advantage of those new pickleball courts at the pavilion in Central Park?
Hi, Mike. Hi,
Well,
Christy.
Hey, Brian.
You are right. In the last 10 years, Hopkins Public Works have put a lot of time and hard work into updating the equipment and adding fun new features in 10 city parks for residents to enjoy for years to come.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Look at those before and after photos. What a difference. Sorry to cut our time short, you guys, but I have to get the Hopkins hockey game in the ice arena. Thanks for reminding me of these wonderful projects that have helped bring Hopkins into 2020. I can't wait to see what the next 10 years has in store for us.
Well, goodbye, Christy. Thanks for
Bye,
stopping
Christy.
by.
Bye.
Speaking of the future, folks, and this is not an April Fool's joke, Census Day is coming up on April 1st, 2020, right, Brian?
It is. Hopkins residents and businesses can expect to see more information and reminders about how to complete the census throughout the first half of the year. You can learn more about the census, why it's important, and how to participate on the city's website and at 2020census.gov.
You know, Brian, since we're here, we should probably stop by and say hi to Chief Specken at the fire station. What do you think of that?
I think that's a great idea. I've been meaning to tell him congratulations for being named the 2019 Fire Officer of the Year by the Minnesota State Fire Chiefs Association. I can't believe he is the first ever chief. There you go. I can't believe he's the first ever chief to receive this award twice. Hey, Chief Specken, congratulations on your award. Hopkins is lucky to have you.
Thanks, Brian.
Hey, Dale, what are you doing with the fire extinguisher?
Well, we just finished a public education event, our first of many this year.
I heard the past year was a busy one for the Hopkins Fire Department's Fire Prevention Inspection Divisions.
You're right, Brian. We gave many tours here at the fire station and held fire prevention talks at all of the city parks, as well as fire safety talks in all the Hopkins schools. Staff also conducted fire safety talks, fire drills, CPR, and AED training for a number of Hopkins businesses.
I'm sure 2020 is going to be just as busy.
Yes, it is. That's why we're hiring part-time firefighters.
I saw that. I've been thinking about attending that hiring information meeting coming up in March.
You know, Brian, if you were a real firefighter, you'd have to try all this gear on right by you. Yeah, I don't think you should try out.
I'm not sure I'm equipped to get this all on fast enough for the vent of a real fire.
Would you like to see how fast a firefighter can do it?
That would be great.
About 2 minutes.
So that was really fast, Dale. Takes about 2 minutes to do that. It's 70 pounds of gear, folks. There's 1,300 calls, 1,300 to 1,500 calls a year that our fire department goes on, which is 4 or 5 a day, depending upon the day. So just imagine, and our response time is 4.1 minutes from the time they get the call from 911 to get to the station, to get the gear on, to get in the truck, to get to your house. So we're really proud of the fire department. And because I don't want the police chief mad at me, I got to plug the police chief. I'm going off script now. Our calls for service are at about 26,000 a year for the police. They're going up from 20,000. And our crime has been reduced by 15%, which is kind of unusual when your calls for service are going up and your crime is going down. So great job by both our public safety departments.
Well, I think on that note, maybe I'll just leave the firefighting to the experts.
I think that sounds good. Is there a train horn or something?
I think there's a train horn. Do you hear that?
I thought I heard something.
Isn't that council member Rick Browson pulling up on the light rail?
Hello, guys. Gentlemen, how are you?
Good.
I can't wait to see the light rail come to town and move us in and out of the city of Hopkins. I'm taking the train right now down to the imaginary city. What's that? I forgot the name of it.
Land of make-believe.
Oh, the land of make-believe. I forgot. Obviously not a fan of the show.
I can't wait either, Rick.
Well,
should we wave goodbye to Brian and Dale?
In the land of make-believe, Mike told me that's where the Vikings are finally going to win the Super Bowl. Yeah, so, Yeah, no, I got it.
Yeah, see you,
See
Brian.
you later, Brian.
Good luck in pickleball.
While we're on our way to the land of make-believe, I would like to take a moment to tell you how proud I am of the city of Hopkins of their dedication to alternative transportation methods. I've always appreciated that Hopkins was a livable, walkable community, and now we're recognized by the biking community as well. Did you know that the League of American Bicyclists have designated Hopkins as a bronze-level bicycle-friendly community? This award recognizes cities for their commitment to creating transportation and recreational resources that benefit residents of all ages and all abilities, while encouraging healthier and more sustainable transportation choices. So while I digress, Mike, do you know how long it is before the light rail is finished?
You know, I'm not exactly sure, but you know what? Let's go over here because I think Kirsten is over here. She could fill us in. Hey, Kirsten.
Hello.
Kirsten, can you share with us the latest developments on Southwest Light Rail?
Well, as many of you have seen, major construction began in Hopkins last summer. All 3 light rail stations are now under construction.
And where will those stations be again, Kirsten?
The Shady Oak Station, which we share with the city of Minnetonka, is not on Shady Oak Road, but it's located close to the intersection of 17th Avenue and Excelsior Boulevard. The downtown Hopkins Station is at 8th Avenue and Excelsior Boulevard, and the Blake Road Station is just north of Excelsior on Blake Road.
All right, that's awesome. And that explains why there's still so much construction along the Blake Road. Now, what was going on along the Excelsior Boulevard next to the depot this last fall?
Can I back up one moment?
Sure.
Speaking of the Blake Station, did you know that they are moving the regional trail underneath Blake Road? Construction crews have been working hard to create a cut-and-cover tunnel.
Yeah.
Woohoo! So that the trail can go under Blake Road.
That's right. That's right. And when will all of this be completed?
Construction will continue through 2022, followed by a year of testing the systems. The Green Line extension is expected to begin passenger service in 2023.
All right, in 2023, we'll be here before we know it.
Time sure does fly, and our time together is almost up. I better get back home. Thanks, Kirsten, for keeping us informed. See you guys later.
See you later.
Well, look who's waiting for me. It's our newest council member, Alan Beck. Hey, Alan.
Hello.
Hey there, Mike.
We're glad to have you here. So how long have you been on our city council?
Just about 1 month.
Just about 1 month. So besides me, who's your favorite employee? Okay, you don't have to answer that.
Thank you.
So, what are some of the things you're looking forward to this year?
You know, in the next few months, we have the Empty Bowls event, which is always a big hit in the community. Then we have Main Street Days with the JCs, the St. Patrick's Day, the shortest St. Patrick's Day parade, and of course, Raspberry Festival.
Yep. Lot of great events in Hopkins. The parades are always fun, especially the Raspberry Festival parade.
You know, Mike, before I came in, I was looking at this picture here of the streets. Can you tell me what's going on with that?
Yeah, that is nice. That is a nice paved street, isn't it? Would you like to learn about the city's pavement management program?
I'm not the only one that would like to learn about the pavement management system. Yeah, I would like to learn about the pavement management
All
system.
right. Picture on the wall. Would you kindly show us all about the pavement management program?
Well, hi there. I'm your city engineer, Nate Stanley, and I'm here to talk about pavement management. The pavement management program is part of the city's overall asset management and involves us monitoring the condition of city streets. Every 4 years, we evaluate every public street in Hopkins and assign them a pavement condition index value. The pavement condition index is a number between 0 and 100, representing the condition of the street, with 100 being the best. Values are typically assigned block by block. The pavement condition index helps us determine what maintenance actions are necessary and when to make an investment in a street. We assign future reconstruction and maintenance projects based on these values. For reconstruction projects, engineering staff start by looking at the streets with the lowest pavement condition index values across the city and evaluating logical groupings of streets. The condition and age of the water and sewer lines beneath the roadway is also taken into account. For maintenance projects such as mill and overlay, engineering staff look for pavement condition index values that may indicate a street is in fair condition and reconstruction is not necessary, but the reconditioning of the top layer of pavement will extend the street's life cycle another 15 to 20 years at a fraction of the price of a full reconstruction. Something unique that Hopkins is doing to help extend the life cycle of newly constructed streets is sealing the interface between the concrete curb and gutter and the asphalt pavement. Research has shown that the largest contributor to street deterioration in Minnesota is water getting into the subgrade below the pavement. To combat this, we apply a special material to the gutter face immediately before paving to prevent the seasonal separation of the blacktop and concrete and water penetration. This can all be done at a very small cost and is based on Minnesota Department of Transportation research. Street improvements are funded by a combination of the general fund and special assessments. Reconstruction projects are paid for through special assessments and bonding. Property owners along a street that we are reconstructing receive a special assessment that is typically based on the front footage of their property at a rate determined by costs associated with the street reconstruction project. If during the reconstruction, the water and sewer service lines are replaced, a portion of that cost is also included with the special assessment. The city does have a cap on the assessment rate to protect residential property owners from volatility in the construction market. Maintenance improvements are paid through the city's general fund. The payment management program is a critical piece of the city's capital improvement plan, allowing us to be proactive rather than reactionary and both financially responsible and intentional about protecting our infrastructure. Engineering staff estimate that we will have reconstructed all public streets in Hopkins by 2030. The streets that we are reconstructing now are expected to have a life cycle of 60 years with appropriately timed maintenance. There was a lot of information right there, and if you have specific questions, please feel free to contact the City Engineering Department.
What an informative video. It's so important to support city infrastructure, especially our utilities and roadways.
Indeed it is, Alan. In the last 10 years, the city has reconstructed 17 miles of streets, and in the next few years, we'll be reconstructing another 8 miles of streets. Pretty impressive. We also replaced the sewer and water that are as old as some of the homes that are in there, so we just make sure we take it all out and put it all back in at the same time. So we are, got, as I said, 8 more miles of streets to go.
That's pretty impressive. Thank you for the lesson, Mike.
You're welcome. I think the doorbell's supposed to ring, but it hasn't.
I would
yet.
agree. I think the doorbell is supposed to ring.
I think there's some council members over there. Hey, hello?
The doorbell.
Here comes your participants tonight. You can join.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you, so let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor?
Thank you. Now a few words from the mayor. I forgot that part.
Don't worry, I'll forget a few things with that evaluation coming up with you, Mike. No, seriously, I hope you had found some great information tonight and the little tidbits that we were able to present and enjoyed the show that way. what I really wanted to get down to is really what is the state of our city. It's really all about the neighbors. What makes Hopkins are the people. And that's truly what it is to me. To get a really good feel for the state of the city, the best thing that I like to do is just walk around the city. You know, even just sitting out on Main Street here, the vibrancy of Main Street over the last few years has increased dramatically. We've had, see more people out walking all the time, more businesses, new businesses coming to town. There's interaction going on, but it's just not in the downtown area as well. You know, if you walk over to Blake Road, as you saw with starting with Cottageville Park renovation, the multiple projects going on over there, construction projects, but we're seeing new businesses come into Blake Road now. And so people are excited. We're seeing that vibrancy over there as well. A lot more people turning that area into a pedestrian, bikeable friendly area as well. And like I said, as I walk around town through the neighborhoods, I see a lot of for sale signs going up with sold signs already on them. And to me, that's a sign that this is a very desirable community still. And there's a lot of activity and people want to move into town. So it's just not new businesses coming in, new residents. And so, you know, we're very active that way, and that is something that a lot of cities don't see. Hopkins has been really able to capitalize on the strong market that way. But then also, as I continue around, walking through town, it's what I see too are all the city staff. The city staff that day in and day out go about the business of making the city something that we can all enjoy, that we can all get around easily during the snowstorms, or whether it's picking up the garbage, or if it's running the permits and licensing, as you saw with the fire, and our protection, public safety, all of that. And it's just not my word saying that we have an amazing staff, though we do. But it's also recognized them from like our fire chief this year with the Fire Officer of the Year. We've also had 2 of our police officers recognized as 40 under 40 internationally by the Police Chiefs Association. Over the last few years, we've had our Public Works Director of the Year. Our city manager is currently serving as a League of Minnesota Cities state president. And these are activities that go above and beyond. They're being recognized by staff and other cities for what they accomplish and for what they do for our city. And to me, that is very important. And it's also, a number of our staff have been asked to travel to other cities in the state as well as across the country to present on what we've been able to accomplish that you saw here tonight. And so to me, that's another testament to the amazing staff that we have. And I do want to say thank you to have all the city staff who are here tonight. Go ahead and stand, and I just want to give you a big round of applause for the work you do for our city. When I also walk around town, I see a lot of passion. I see a lot of people who are passionate about various aspects and passionate about what it means to be from Hopkins and what it means to them to be their hometown. And to me, that is something that you can't provide somebody. They achieve it after what they've lived here for years and have come to know what Hopkins is all about. And to me, that's that passion that really makes it successful. I see a lot of accessibility. We've been working hard on adding new forms of transportation and transit, making it bike-friendly, walkable-friendly, a city that people really want to come to. But once again, the number one thing I see walking around is each one of you. And to me, that's why it's my hometown. Because I get to see you as I go down to Driscoll's or I go to the gas station or walk down the street. And to me, this year being the year of 2020, looking at the vision of what really Hopkins is all about and having that 2020 vision, I encourage you to now go out and when you see something, this is your town. This is your hometown. It's just not my hometown. And so when you go to see something amazing that happened, or you have a great story to tell about why Hopkins is important to you, or why you really enjoy Hopkins, use the hashtag #MyHopkins. Let's tell the story about why this is our town and what makes it special to each one of us. And also not just why it's special from what you've seen, but if you're walking around or if you're traveling somewhere and you see, you know, I think this business would be great in Hopkins, or I think Hopkins should try this. Once again, let's tag it, #MyHopkins. Let's get out there and really share those ideas. That's what I really want to hear, is the feedback from each one of you and sharing your ideas on how this is our hometown and it's our place to be and where we want to live. So thank you for coming tonight. I encourage you to once again pick up the annual report on your way out and see all the other great information if you just caught it in glimpses here. But this is our hometown. Go out and enjoy.